Hey, sports fans! Father's Day weekend, PBC Sports Chaos. We're coming back at you. We got a lot to talk about. U.S. Open this weekend. We got NBA, NHL playoffs. Lots going on. PB, let me go. Before we go into our NBA and NHL playoff talk, I got a couple things I want to talk about. First of all, NBA. I don't know if you saw this or you recognize this, but there's been 9 coaches who have been let go or out of their jobs since the beginning of the year. 8 of them had to be Caucasian middle-aged men. Is this a pattern? Should we be concerned about this, you and I?
No, I think it's all just coincidental.
All right.
We'll see what
I was
happens, who the
thinking about it.
replacements
I
are.
didn't know what to say about it, man. I was concerned. Hey, U.S. Open's going on this weekend, and Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau are having a little hissy fit on social media. Should we be paying attention?
I mean, we've seen all that stuff now come out on social media, and it can be distracting, and it starts to get fans thinking about, what's going on and stuff. But I like both those guys actually going into this tournament. I know they're 2 of the probably top 4 or 5 favorites, but I picked Koepka, last major, and he didn't pan out.
I'm with you.
I am
with you on that. Hey, all right. Big trade today locally. Boston Celtics. They traded Kemba Walker and some draft picks, a first rounder next year, I think it is, and a second rounder in like 20 years from now. I have no idea. But anyways, they got back Al Horford and a guy named Moses Malone, a backup center for Oklahoma City, and a second round pick, again, sometime in the future. I have no idea when it is. What do you make of this? By the way, Kemba is owed $73 million over the next 2 years. Horford's on his last year of his contract. Is this a good move for the Celtics?
Horford played well with the Celtics when he played here before. I think now with some new, talent surrounding him with, Tatum and Brown, I think that might give him an opportunity to kind of do the same type of role that he had last time. I was never a fan of Kemba. I don't think Kemba is long-term.
You said that many times. You did say that. Bad trade. I know. Yeah. You did say that.
So I don't know. I think that in the end, I think this will make the Celtics a better team. I think it gives them more options with the ball than it does with Walker. So,
well, the options are this. It's either Jason or Jalen going to have the ball in their hands when they have to be a shot up, right? Now that Kemba's out of the equation.
Yeah.
All right.
I think it makes the offense more dynamic, though, overall.
All right. PB, the other thing I have to ask you about, the big news of the week, is Aaron Rodgers going to get traded?
Man, that's a tough one. I mean, we were talking about Deshaun back, earlier in the year about this as well, and
that ain't happening anymore thanks to Deshaun's
right. Well, that was pre all his,
correct,
and everything else. So I don't know. I think it really comes down to the play. I don't think he's going to hold out. I don't think he's going to hold out. I think he loves football too much for that. He'd retire, I think, before he held out. But if he doesn't want to play there, I mean, you might as well get – my theory's always been you might as well get something for a player who wants out, who doesn't like their job, if you will, or working for that boss, if you will.
Right.
They should work. If that was in that situation in corporate America, I would try to then work that person out of the organization and help them and advocate for them, especially if I'm going to get something in return that could be even potentially help the team longer term, what's their plan?
Let me ask you a question. Given what you just said, if he doesn't show up for training camp, you're going to look to trade him if you're the GM.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you don't,
Okay.
you might get nothing, right? He might hold out. He might retire. You just might get nothing for him. So, and is Jordan Love really the future of your team? I mean, you drafted him in the first round last year, right? Or 2 years ago, whatever it was.
Which, as we both said at the time, was a stretch. We didn't have him in the first round.
Right. So is that going to be, is that the future of the team? And if it is, when do you start to build your team around that? And if you can get some really good.
So when do you look at
that? But,
when do you consider this? At what point in time, if you're the GM, at what point in time do you say, crap, we got to trade this guy?
If we don't know this for sure, but if Aaron Rodgers has made intentions very clear, I do not want to play for the Green Bay Packers anymore, then you got to do that. And I think by him holding out or not showing up to camp is basically a non-verbal way of saying that. And that's when
do you wait till July 28th when the first day of the official training camp starts?
Unless like I said, unless he verbalizes it directly. We don't know if he's actually said that or not, right?
Yeah.
So everyone, the media tries to make every single thing he says, they try to read into it deeper than maybe it needs to be and trying to make all these assumptions, but we really don't know what's going on behind those doors.
All right, so let me ask you a question, PB. If he hasn't actually came to the GM and the president of the team and said, I want to trade, do you react or do you just wait to see what you call his bluff?
I mean, again, I would react. I would react to it. I mean, how many years does Aaron Rodgers, have left in the tank? What are you going to do with Jordan Love? You're going to end up getting nothing for the guy. And that'll be the saddest thing for the Packers. Their long-term success with a longer-term plan, it'll be more beneficial for guys moving forward.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
All right. By the way, moving on. Russell Wilson, is he going to stay in Seattle?
Yeah.
If the 49ers in trouble, they've already had two more critical injuries. They lost an offensive tackle, and then lost a defensive back who started last year. Is there a problem in the 49ers organization with the training camps?
You're frozen, or if I'm frozen too, but I did hear the question, 49ers and the injuries there.
49ers injuries. Is there an issue there?
Yeah. I don't know. Is this something in the organization that's just going to go on year after year? They obviously were decimated last year by injury. If that team's healthy, they definitely can contend with the Buccaneers probably for the Super Bowl, along with some other teams maybe in the NFC. But if they, lose key players like they did last year, their tight end Kittle was down. They were playing, running back roulette with their running backs last year. Of course, Jimmy G has always had some problems staying healthy. I know they got, Trey Lance now to fill that void, but we'll see. This team is definitely one that won't be able to deal with major injuries again like they had last year.
I don't think so. You're right. All right. Any more NFL stuff before we go on to our NBA and the NHL update?
No, that's it. I'm good.
All right.
We can go into NBA and NFL.
All right, NHL. Let's talk about NHL. Your Tampa Bay Lightning, they lost the first game. They won two more, and now they're up 2-1 against the Islanders. Islanders fans may say, we got you right where we want you. As we know, they were down 2-1 to the Bruins. What happens in that series?
Yeah, Tampa Bay is good, man. That's the team that I've liked since the very beginning of the season.
I know.
I think You did as well. They're a more talented team. The Islanders are scrappy though, and they're tough. But I really like what I see with the Lightning. They move the puck well. They get it out of their zone. They're a good neutral zone team. They're quick through the neutral zone. They apply pressure. They forecheck. Vasilevsky in net is one of the top goaltenders in the league, and he's just continuing to basically stand on his head in the playoffs. So I think in the end, this is a Tampa series. I would be surprised if they run the table. And
All right.
this will
So you got Tampa winning this one.
The Bruins. Huh?
You get Tampa winning this one.
Absolutely. Yep. I wouldn't be
I
surprised.
still think the Islanders pull it out. All right. Let's go to the next one. This is going to be interesting. We get now Vegas and Montreal. It is now 1-1, correct? The Canadians. I don't know. What do you think?
Surprising, and now they're going toe to toe with what is probably one of the best teams in the NHL. But I still think, and I've said it since the beginning, the two best teams in the NHL are probably stuck in that same division with the Avs and the Knights, and that was one of the best series right there already.
Right.
So I got to take the Knights in this one, and again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Knights just go on a tear and take this in 5 or 6.
PB, I got a little DYK for you. The Canadians, up to their game 1 loss in this series, have led for 7 hours and 17 minutes. Put that in perspective.
Wow.
That's like 7.5 games or 7.25 games, right?
Right. Yeah. That's crazy, because that means they haven't even been playing like overtime games and things like that.
Nothing. That's an amazing stat. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, 93 was the last time they won the cup, correct?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I picked Vegas. I want Vegas, but you know what? I would love this. I hate to see the Canadians because they're like the Yankees to us, but a legacy team like that winning the championship would be awesome.
Well, they're like the Yankees in a couple of ways. Number one, they're the arch rival of the Bruins, right? And
correct.
6 teams, but they also have the most Stanley Cup championships of
correct.
Yeah. So it's like rooting for the Lakers or rooting for the.
Yes, exactly. All right, man. All right. Let's move on. NBA, real quick. The Bucks and the Nets are 3-3. Bucks won last night on their home court. It comes back to New Jersey. Both home teams have won every single game. Who do you like at this point in time?
Yeah, it's been right. All 6 games, the home team has won. I would love to see Milwaukee pull off this game. And you know what? Even some of the games in Brooklyn have been Milwaukee's been winning. I think one of the games they were up by 18 or something.
They were.
So, I think I like the Bucks. I like what I'm seeing. We know the Nets are hobbling a little bit with some of with players and some injuries. So I'm gonna go with, because I think Irving is still a little banged up. You got a little banged up. I think Milwaukee comes through in this, and I think it'll be the first road win of the series, and the Bucks will advance.
All right, flipping it over to the West. Clippers go into a game 7 with Utah.
Well, they got to win tonight. Yeah, game 6 is tonight. So
tonight, I'm sorry. Yep. So who do you like there?
Hawks. I hate the Sixers, so I really root for the Hawks. But and this game's in Atlanta, right? So this is, if Atlanta doesn't win this one, then they're going to go back to Philly. I'm going to say Hawks just because they're up 3-2, but I wouldn't be surprised if Philly takes that.
That would be huge upset. Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Phoenix Suns, they already won their series, but Chris Paul's out for maybe a couple days, depending on when the next series starts because of COVID. Who do you like in the Clippers and Jazz?
Yeah. So I think we both picked the Clippers to make it to at least the conference finals. I picked them to be in the championship against the Heat, who are already out, but I'll go Clippers Bucks now with my final. So I think the Clippers can win this, and I think the Clippers can beat the Suns as well. Great job coming down from 2-0. They had to come down from 2-0 in their previous series.
I will say this. If Kawhi Leonard has an ACL tear, which is supposedly the rumor right now, they're done. They can't win it. Do you agree?
What's that? Who can't?
If Kawhi Leonard has an ACL tear, which is the rumor, I don't think they can win it.
Yeah, if he's out for the whole rest of the playoffs, yeah, that's going to be tough for them for sure.
I agree. All right.
But
go ahead, PB.
They still managed to crush to crush the Jazz.
Utah. Yeah,
So,
they did.
Yeah.
You're right. We'll see. All right. PB and Z, Sports Chaos. Hey, PB, we're going to have our first annual horseshoe tournament. I know you're down in Florida. It's going to be the weekend of July 3rd, 4th. We'll see what happens. I will be sure to broadcast it live that day. I know you're heading up before the tournament. We'll talk more about that. But next weekend, we're going to have a little more NBA, NHL talk. And then ARod, is he traded or not, right?
Yep. And then we're also going to get into the whole predictions in football. We're going to break down a division every single week and leading through the summer, taking us to the start of the NFL season. We have our fantasy football special that'll come at you over the summer. We're going to start heating up our NFL talk here pretty soon.
And we get more MLB because there's a lot to talk about with the whole spin rate and illegal substance. We'll talk about that next week. All right, PB, anything else you got?
Happy Father's Day.
Yes. All right. Happy Father's Day. PB&Z Sports Chaos signing off.